Interesting. All right, well, I'm not very prepared here, but I'll go for it, buddy. If we're ready to rock and roll? Okay. Welcome to another edition of Controversies of the Day with me, your old buddy Jay. How you doing out there, everybody? Mr. and Mrs. America, Mr. and Mrs. Earthling, if you will. Hey, look at the shirt. Got this on for Dr. Stephen Greer. Hey, buddy, you get all of our attention, you get the clicks, but you got something for us there, Dr. Greer, please? We're waiting, anticipating, please, Dr. Greer. And Pamela, we're going to get to you a little bit too, because we're also waiting, anticipating to see what you got too, honey. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations off the bat to Dan Bongino, former talk show host. I've been listening to him on WLS out of Chicago, 890 AM, and I enjoy Dan's show. And I think he's a good guy. I hope so. He is, I think, going to be deputy director of the FBI. And they say, like, in a lot of these positions, folks, that actually it's the deputy or assistant person to many of the secretaries in different positions, actually does a lot of the day-to-day work, believe it or not, in these agencies. Dan, his critics say, hey, he never served in the FBI. What are you doing? Well, wait a minute now. Dan, he worked for the Secret Service for a multitude of presidents, I believe at least two different presidents, Bush and Obama, I want to say. Also, he's been in law enforcement many years, and all-around good guy. Maybe President Trump is looking for an outsider. I think that's what he, has shown us in some of his other picks. He wants some outsider. He's got some insiders in there too. I'm not real big on Scott Bessent. I've already said that before. We'll talk more about him later or another show. But we want to wish Dan Bongino all the best with Kash Patel, and hopefully they are going to reform the FBI. Again, the FBI in recent years just has gotten really, really bad. I mean, Hoover would be proud, right? That corrupt mother trucker. Yeah, but we want to be clear. The average FBI agent, I've probably only known one in my life. They do a good job. They're good Americans. They're trying to help people. Back to 1993, they probably saved so many lives when they tried to take down the World Trade Center. So I want to remind everybody there was FBI people doing their job. And if you need a little refresher on that one, yeah, 93, not 2001. We can get to that in a sec. But yeah, 93, the FBI thwarted a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. They tried to blow up bombs in the basement of the building, and the goal was, according to Time Magazine. Do you remember Time Magazine, folks? I don't know, they still have Time Magazine. It was a big deal when I was a kid growing up. Oh, if you have Time Magazine, oh, that's the news. Oh, it was like, that's the gospel. Oh, Time Magazine. Anyway, Time Magazine said in the early 90s there that the terrorists were trying to knock these skyscrapers over. Yeah. So anyway, it was thwarted by the FBI. So we do have good agents. Most of those people are hardworking people who love America. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of people at the top, which is nothing new, who are very corrupt and have agendas. Now, if we go way back to a guy named J. Edgar Hoover, the Leonardo DiCaprio make a movie. Oh, what a weak movie that was. And did you direct it, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood? What a joke. Try again. Okay, Hollywood, try again. Are you really going to go down that road? Yeah, this guy was wild, dude. I mean, you'll look up J. Edgar Hoover. This guy was the FBI director for several, not just like one or two, several presidents. He was sort of like the imperial FBI director. What was all that about? Well, I mean, the legend goes that he had dirt on everybody. And then the legend was that maybe organized crime had dirt on him. Anyway, we're going down history's rabbit hole just maybe a little too far. We'll back it up. So we want to wish Kash Patel, the new FBI director, and Dan Bongino, former radio show host, some people in the lamestream media were trying to say, oh, he's a podcaster. He's just a podcaster. Oh, okay. One of the smartest guys in the world, Eric Weinstein, does a lot of podcasts too. Just saying. Okay. And Mika Kaku does too. And you're the guy you like, establishment people, Neil Tyson Grayson, whatever the frick his name is. Okay, he's supposed to be a smart cookie. I don't think he's that smart. But anyway, moving along. So good luck to Dan Bongino. There might be a cute gal, Haley, going to try to fill his shoes. We'll see what happens. Bongino got the time slot of Rush Limbaugh, for those of you who remember Rush. And as a real American right-winger, and I'm probably risking maybe making some of the audience upset out there, but no, I never liked that guy. Complete freaking phony. And that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. When I point to myself in all arrogance, call myself a real American right-winger. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Rush, no, that's a phony baloney, okay? He's a complete freaking phony. He didn't go to Vietnam, but yet he was all hawkish about military. Oh yeah, he loved to send, the kids all over the Middle East and wherever else, Bush wanted to send him W there for 8 years. Yeah, that was great, huh? Yeah. Oh, he ripped on people wanting to use drugs or legalizing drugs. He's a big pill popper. Well, what the hell? Said he was all for pro-life candidates. Oh, but then he was married 3 times and he didn't have any kids. Well, gee, if you can't have any of your own kids and you're a multimillionaire, why didn't you adopt? Oh, Russia's dead now. Let's not rip on. Well, I don't care. We're going to rip on all kinds of dead people. I don't care if it's J. Edgar Hoover or Rush Limbaugh or anybody else that comes to mind. But we'll get back to the living. Okay. Well, how you liking Donald Trump, everybody? I mean, it's a weird thing. I get this little devil in my ear. The devil's saying, you got to be careful, Jay, because people who love Trump, they're going to want to, you got to either give to them or you got to go with the Trump haters. You can't do like a little bit of both. Can we? I'm asking you, can we? Can you dig it? Can you? Because that's what we're going to do a little bit here. My wife is watching him. He's sitting there with Macron. I see them all over each other, kind of like, I don't know, a little bromance going on there. Trump does this with people. I don't know. It's like a weird, what do you want to call, weird dance he does. It's almost not that dance. I'm talking. It's like a passive aggressive thing he does with people. People of power, as Logan, my producer, would say. Anyway, he likes to do that. They're all sitting around at the White House, casually taking a nice little press conference together, talking about a lot of important things. Secretary of State Rubio was there. I think VP Vance was there, and several power players were just sitting around there together. And it was very nice. And my wife said, isn't it nice? Oh, there we go. Isn't it nice to see a president who seems presidential, after 4 years of Joe Biden? Oh my God, he was more than just sleepy Joe Biden. That was almost like Weekend at Bernie's Biden. I mean, wow, what we had to put up with. And you Democrats who hate Trump, or, oh, Trump's going to ruin the world. Doge is going to ruin the world. Oh, God. Oh. Well, look at yourselves in the mirror. You did this. We could have had a primary system. You could have had a different ticket. Maybe somebody else would have won. I don't know. Trump's been very nice to Macron. Hopefully, he's got the right diplomacy going on here. Hopefully, Emmanuel Macron sees that President Trump wants peace in Ukraine. Let's hope it's for real. Trump's talking more and more about Ukraine and the rare earth metals they're supposed to have there. Yes, that's the new gold, right, baby? You better believe it, the rare earth metals. Let's hope this is all, working in the right direction. And we hope we get all Europe, or at least enough of Europe, behind us and what President Trump is doing there. And hopefully, whether your name is Vlad Zelensky or Vlad Putin, you're going to give peace a chance. Let's hope. Let's hope some people do that, folks. All right. What the hell is going on in the skies? A couple weeks ago, we were doing a show, and I was kind of mocked. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Sometimes I'm right about some things. Sometimes I'm wrong about some things. But, I mean, this is scary stuff, folks. I don't know what is all going on in our aviation. There have been, of course, there was a horrible crash in Washington, D.C. Last month, back in January. But then February, we've had some weird incidents. Small plane crash in Philadelphia. We had a small plane crash in Arizona. There's been some things up in Alaska. Then we've had this strange plane crash. Well, it was a crash technically. Thank God, I think everybody walked away from it, though, where the plane landed upside down in Toronto, Canada. Did you see this? Just crazy stuff. And then there was something just happened the other day at Midway Airport in Chicago, where there was a near miss there with a Southwest Airlines situation. Also, something at Reagan airport. There was a near miss situation. And a plane had to be diverted that was either headed to Rome or headed out of Rome recently. So I don't know what's going on. Let's hope that the powers that be, the FAA or whoever it may be, is going to get a hold of this situation here and check things out here. As I said originally, when the Washington, D.C. thing happened, I mean, is somebody threatening somebody else? That's really what I'm kind of concerned about here, folks. So hopefully, I'm not telling anybody not to take the airways. You know, if you got to fly, a lot of people got to fly. You got to do your thing and live your life. But let's hopefully get to the bottom of this situation. Oh my goodness. Speaking of getting to the bottom of situations, oh my gosh, how about them guys at Doge? You got to love it. I'm a little mixed on Elon. I've said that from the get-go, and I'll still say it. And nothing wrong with being critical, or a little even hypercritical of a very successful billionaire. As I was talking with Logan, you know, we got a lot of billionaires we need to keep our eyes on. There's a lot of them. I talked about Alex Karp before, the Palantir CEO. Peter Thiel, of course, big deal in several companies. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg, you know, Jeff Bezos has been around for quite a while. Everybody knows his name. But some of these other guys, you know, they've just kind of become billionaires like in the last 10, 15 years. They're kind of the nouveau riche, you know, whereas like guys like Gates and Warren Buffett, you know, they've been there for a while. But we still got to keep an eye on them too. And of course, don't forget our buddy, the Soros. Whether it's the old man George or the kid Alex or whoever, Pritzkers. I mean, there's a long list of billionaires. One thing I will maybe agree with Bernie, with Bernie about, you know, maybe there are too many, I'm going into Arnold, not Bernie. Maybe there are too many billionaires out there. I don't know. Anyway, we will get to all that. We'll keep an eye on all of them. But keep an eye on things, and somebody might be holding back a little bit. Pamela, I'm talking to you, Attorney General. Please, you were recently on Fox saying that you had all these files on your desk. Well, okay, goody. I mean, what's the holdup? What's the holdup? Inquiring minds want to know, Pamela. Please. So I don't know. She says she's got the Epstein files. I don't know if she's got the JFK and the RFK and the MLK. Are they you know, redacting some things? What's the holdup here, hon? Okay, are we saving that for a certain special day? Is there a special moment? Maybe there is. Maybe someone says, "Hey, we're gonna make some history here." Maybe that's what it's all about: setting things up for a certain day to lay all this out, and ba-bam. Well, I don't know. We've talked about JFK here. So many people have talked about that. Clearly, you probably don't just have Lee Harvey Oswald acting alone. I don't think that's really hard to figure out. Sorry, Gerald Posner with Case Closed and all these other people that try to just, oh no, the Warren Commission was right. Ooh. Oh, yeah, really? Anyway, nice for a strip club owner, Jack Rubenstein. Jack Ruby just walk in there and just clean up that Oswald mess. So much mess that happened there, and it's so funny when people talk conspiracies. Well, no, something would go. Yes, that's right. Well, things do go wrong. Things do get messy. Hello, they do. It does happen. You know, got to go clean up those messes. But clearly, there wasn't just one shooter, and clearly there was a tremendous cover-up by our government. That's some scary stuff for them to actually publicly admit, even though, so many of us pretty much understand that what we saw there, November 22nd, 1963, was not what we were told what really happened there. I think most of us know that. Maybe some people just don't want to know. Maybe they just don't want to know. But we'll see. Hopefully Pam Biondi, and then the Epstein files. I mean, do we really have a real clients list? Is Donald Trump's name on? Whoa, don't you dare say that, Jay. You're going to get in trouble here, buddy. I don't know. Let's hope not. But we shall see what happened. Obviously, this guy was something else indeed. I think a lot of people want to know about Epstein. Was Epstein completely, him and Ghislaine, were they just working on their own? Were they completely independent? Really? They weren't, say, working for any intelligence agencies by any chance, were they? This question has been brought up for, a few years now by various sources. Things that make you go, Well, Pam, I hope you'll let us know soon. Okay, hun? Well, those Doge guys, I guess a lot of young genius kids, a lot of people ripping on them because they're young or 20-somethings. They're letting us know about all kinds of waste, fraud, and abuse with Doge. We're gonna get back to Doge in just a second here. How about gold? How about, well, that's one thing Doge wants to investigate and President Trump wants to investigate. Is the gold at Fort Knox really there? Let's think about this, folks. Is it really, really there? I mean, we've been off the gold standard now since Richard Nixon and back to John F. Kennedy. Some people think that John F. Kennedy wanted to keep us on the gold standard, and that's when things were being worked out behind the scenes. Anyway, Richard Nixon officially took us off the gold standard. I want to say that was in the early 1970s. And, is that gold there? Some people are saying no. I mean, if the gold's not there in Fort Knox, I want everybody to just take a moment. What would the ramifications of that be? Please, if you got some ideas in the comments below. I mean, is this all, as some Logan, our producer, wants to speculate, does this have something to do with crypto? Is this something to do that could help Bitcoin? Would this initially freak the markets out when we have a major stock market crash? Would it make the price of gold go through the frickin' roof? Which, by the way, just recently here in late February, gold did hit an all-time high. Then, like the next day, there was a nice little sell-off, little profit-taking. Things went down about $50, an ounce and stuff like that. But gold has been a steady climber. And it's really been interesting to watch, folks, because we've seen the stock market go up as well, which is telling a different story. Like everything's hunky-dory, everything's great. Gold is telling us a story that, well, no, there's massive amount of debt. The United States is deeper into debt than it's ever been. I think, even if you adjusted for inflation, I think we're the deepest we've ever been. $36 trillion in debt. Maybe we'll have to inflate ourselves out of debt. I don't know. It's so sad what's happened. And again, we have a fiat paper money system. How has that ended for other countries? Is that going well? I mean, are we the one that's going to be different? And then you look at the BRICS. The BRIC countries have been threatening to go off the dollar. We've been king dollar, folks, for a long time now. That's a good thing. Good thing for us, Anyway, as RFK Jr. said during the campaign last year, he said, or I don't know if this was in 2023 or 2024. He was still a Democrat back then. He was in Iowa at a fair or something. He was campaigning at the time, and he said, if the BRIC countries ever really completely leave the dollar, he said it would make the Great Depression look like a picnic. Something, I'm paraphrasing along the lines, but that's what RFK Jr. said. I think that's something that should be noted. I think it should be noted, by the way. So, gold at Fort Knox, make everybody feel better. Then what? Maybe stock market rallies. We feel better about ourselves. Yay, okay, it's okay. We still got some real wealth, some real value, at least backing up some of all of our fake fiat currency. And then we feel, okay, all right, then maybe the market will rally. I don't know. So this could be one of the biggest things if Doge, the Trump administration, really investigate this and is really exposed to the public. This could be huge. And again, maybe it'll be just a hiccup. Maybe the market will have a little shock and then bounce back. Or this could be something very, very big. And again, I want to say, if there's not much, or if there's no gold there, I think the price of gold is going to go nuts. Probably be north of $5,000 an ounce here very shortly. It just recently went over 2,900 to give us a perspective on a troy ounce of actual gold. All right. So lots of things to look at here, folks. I do want to take some issue, if you don't mind, with Donald Trump. Something. Now, I know this is tempting as all heck get out, and I'm going to take issue with some of the boys at PBD. Else I misunderstood you guys. I hope I did. President Trump was talking about Doge. He's talking about all this waste, fraud, and abuse, which is pathetic, folks. Frickin' Sesame Street in Iraq. We got to pay for that? We pay for our own Sesame Street. And then they sell all the merchandise to our kids, and then somebody makes millions of dollars. Okay. Nice work if you can get it, by the way. You know, and then to think about what came in the 90s. I love you. You love me. The Leach family. Oh, yeah, nice last name there. Yeah, they sold off the, they call it some kind of marketing rights or whatever for like $250 million. This is back in the 90s, by the way. Anyway, don't go too far off the track here. But Doge, so many things are looking into. It's just insane. But the president said something I want to take a little bit of offense with. He said something, I think he was on a plane talking to the press, saying something about a dividend giving back to the American people. Like, I don't know, somebody threw out the number of 5,000. I'm not sure if the president did or somebody else did. And I know this is just, you know, this is all just kind of spinning in the air right now, folks. I'll be very clear. We are deep in debt. We are deep in doo-doo. No, Mr. President, it sounds nice, but that would not be a good thing. Even the boys at PBD, Patrick Bet, David's Valuetainment, some of them were kind of, well, I don't know, maybe it'd be a good idea. I don't know, what do you think of that? Well, they would be giving money to the people that voted against you too, and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, let's slow down. We just had a thing called COVID, where a lot of government money went out. I think everybody looks back in hindsight and says, you know, some of that was good, some of that made sense for businesses that had shut down, for people that were in, let's say, the hospitality or the restaurant business. Some of that made sense. But maybe, you know, they overdid it a little bit. We've got a huge national debt. Congress just passed another, I don't know, it was a budget deal or budget extension. It's pathetic. Again, folks, we have not had an annual balanced budget. Now, that's just your yearly budget, right? For 25 years, since the last year or two of the Clinton administration. I think we had 2 years. We had something close to a balanced budget, okay? Clinton, there was a lot of high-priced generals and military people who were retiring. There was a lot of pressure from Republicans in Congress. Clinton worked with some of them. Anyway, it was a good time. Oil prices were very low. We had this new emerging economy with the internet coming in. Anyway, it was amazing, and there was 2 years of balanced budget. And then, you know, we went into a recession, Bush Cheney come in, and all kinds of WorldCom stuff, Enron, all kinds of just wacky stuff happened. And then 9/11 happens. Everyone wants to blame everything on that. There was other issues going on as well. And then, you know, we go back into, you know, running up debt and deficits, annual budget deficits. And for many years, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be clear. So we have this $36 trillion national debt at the moment. People got to understand something. We're paying a huge amount of money just to service that debt. Like you have a credit card, you have a minimum payment. You got to make that minimum every month, right? Otherwise you get in trouble, okay? So we've got this interest on the debt that we pay to the bondholders, the people that hold our debt. I don't know, some people don't seem to care. By the way, I was going through all my crap, that's what my wife calls it, and I wanted to show you this right here, folks. Oh, he just printed that up. No, this is what a 90s printer would make for you. This is during the 1996 campaign. This was old man Bob Dole against Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton running for re-election. Ross Perot was in there, but he didn't matter as much as he did in 92, 4 years earlier. We were at $5 trillion then. So this dude, this goofball, has cared about this for a long time. I've cared about this issue since the early 90s. It really bothered me. And what I see with the national debt and our debt crisis is that this is one of the ways they're going to destroy America. This is how I see it. Now you can say, well, it's just your opinion, Jay. Yeah, but for 25 freaking years, we haven't had an annual budget, balanced annual budget. Think about that. So what we need, folks, is to get an annual balanced budget and then hopefully have a little bit of surplus. And no, I don't want checks going out to people. Now, then you start to chip away at the 36 trillion overall debt. You get it? It's kind of like your credit card. Just think about your credit card, and you couldn't get away with this stuff. But our government does because we're a great economy, right? And that's really all our money's backed by now is just that we're a great economy. A lot of consumers here. And And that, well, we have a relationship with a thing called the Federal Reserve. It's not really a part of the government, but we act like it is, and it has a relationship with the Treasury, and they can just kind of keep printing. So anyway, here we are, 36 trillion. What do we have to show for it? We got a big military, we got a space program. I don't know. You think we got enough to show for it? I think we should almost have frickin' utopia. I mean, where's utopia? Ross Perot used to say that back in '92. So no, Mr. President and the boys at Valuetainment, no, I don't think Americans should get a $5,000 dividend. No. Please, President Trump, concentrate on things you campaign on, like no taxes on Social Security. I mean, you think about that, it's crazy. People pay into Social Security, then they retire, then they get the Social Security money, and then you're going to tax them again on that? I mean, it's insane. You already took that money from them all those other years. I mean, it's just crazy. Just like sloshing money back and forth to Washington. Insane. There should be no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. Okay, now some of this has gone through, or they're trying to put some of this in a recent budget bill. We'll see what happens. We'll get back to you on that, folks. I really hope that they live up to that. And we'll talk more about this concept too of taxes. I think there's so much the average people don't know. And I don't like all these tax cuts for the super rich. I don't, especially while we're in so much debt. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's get that debt down, okay? And let's get things under control. And then that will be back to King Dollar. Not have to worry about the BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa walking away, okay? And Saudi Arabia also, you could say that. We'll see what happens here, but let's get back to King Dollar, okay? Let's have sound money and a sound economy. Gee, are those crazy ideas? Is that nuts? I don't know. Oh my gosh. So we got a big day coming up, March 4th. I think is the State of the Union. If my producer could just look that up for me, buddy, with the State of the Union. Is it March 4th? Is it March 4th? That could be a big one. I'm looking for this. Could be one for the history books. I hope President Trump goes in there a lot like he did at the inauguration and just starts ripping everybody up. I mean, I hope he doesn't come out and do this. Oh, the State of the Union is strong. And I mean, he might have to end on a positive note, but take everybody down first. Take everybody down. I mean, just for Jay to fantasize for a second. Wouldn't it be nice if President Trump said, all right, America, I know this is extremely unheard of, but I'd like to bring in a special guest speaker. I'd share my time, my State of the Union time, with a great American named Dan Pena, all the way, who's living, I think, in another country right now, but he's from America, right? Bring Dan in and just have him just go off. Unfortunately, Dan is a very vulgar guy, and he'd maybe bleep, 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 but it'd be fun as hell, and he'd just rip on the whole audience, because that's what each and every one of them deserve. They really do. Both parties, by the way. And again, all this debt, and now all this nonsense with USAID and all the NGOs that are connected to all this waste, fraud, and abuse. What are NGOs? Non-governmental organizations. Then we find out like billionaires like the Pritzkers. Yeah, one of them is the governor of Illinois, a Democrat. He's a billionaire, but he's got a house in Wisconsin and this big lake and everything. But he's a Democrat. He cares about the working people. Working people. Oh yeah. Now, you believe that? Do you believe that? Anyway, Trump needs to just take March 4th and create history. This is really, really, I really hope that Donald does it. I mean, there's different ways you can do it. I think he just needs to rip on everybody in Congress. Basically say to them, do your job, or maybe you need to go home. Maybe. And a lot of them should have retired a long time ago. It's not just Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell, but we can start with those two for sure. Anyway, it's going to be interesting when they get the House and the Senate and everybody together. It'll be interesting to see if a lot of Democrats, they're going to protest and not show up, or they're going to all wear certain colors or whatever they're going to do. Hey, maybe you could get one of these shirts right here. I wore this today for Dr. Greer, by the way. So anyway, we'll see what happens on March 4th. March 14th is also a very important day. We hope we don't have to shut the government down. Hopefully they just pass some budget bills here and they're going to hold things off. But this is really one of the biggest parts of the Trump administration. We need to get America back on a strong fiscal path. Let's not play any silly games. DOGE needs to mean something. This needs to be put pressure on members of the House and the Senate to reduce spending across the board, and especially in these ridiculous areas of USAID and these NGOs getting government taxpayer money. Insane to the membrane. All right, well, we're gonna wrap things up. We're not done yet. We're gonna wrap things up with a little bit of pop culture, and I guess I have to cry some crocodile tears because Joy Reid. Oh, Logan, did you see Joy Reid? Did she lose her show on MSNBC? Oh God, what am I gonna do with my Joy Reid? Are they gonna take Match? Are they gonna take Rachel too? Rachel Maddow? Oh, is she gonna go away? Oh my God. Terrible. Well, I don't know. What do you guys got? Like 14 listeners right now? You're almost down to our ratings, right? We're just trying to get started here. Or maybe Elon Musk is gonna come in and buy MSNBC and turn the whole thing around. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? As always, my challenge to PBD, Patrick Bet David. Bring me down to Florida. Bring Logan and I down to Florida. We'll hang with you guys. We're not, we're not totally nuts. I mean, we're a little nutty, but we're not, not dangerously nutty. Bring in Wesley Huff from Toronto or whatever. I'll debate him, make him look like an idiot. I'll put him in a little corner, just verbally, figuratively speaking. Yeah, I'll make him sweat, make him work. Yeah, I don't know what happened with, Billy Carson, whatever. I don't know. He's trying to resurrect his career here. But I throw that challenge. That challenge is still out there. So anyway, we'll end with a little pop culture and wrap things up here for today on Controversies of the Day. And please hit the like button. Please subscribe and tell a friend, as we are here on YouTube and on Rumble as well. Did you see the SNL 50th anniversary? Oh my goodness, folks. It was interesting a couple weeks ago. I mean, for me, it was a roller coaster ride because they're showing clips of when the show was actually funny, and it's a big part of Americana for me. I watched the show ever since I was a little kid. So many big stars have come out of that show, people like Chris Farley, of course, and John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, and we go blah, 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 on and on and on. So many talented people. And then they would show some stupid stuff, there's more recent stuff, or they did some actual skits now, and they weren't really, wasn't really as good. Sad, kind of sad. But anyway, one of the dumbest parts, I know some people are making fun of this, so maybe I'm a little late to the game here, but was Tom Hanks. We got Tom Hanks, who's guest host of the show many years. Good actor. I don't know if he's one of the greats, but he's a good actor. He's had some Academy Award wins and nominations and whatnot. Forrest Gump was an American classic. Anyway, he's wearing a MAGA hat, and he's in this stupid skit where, Keenan wants to shake his hand, and Keenan's a black guy, and he's like, all the MAGA people are all racist and don't want to touch a black person's hand. And, well, there are MAGA people that are black, you idiots. So it was just so pathetic to see somebody who, for me was, I'm not saying I had Tom Hanks on a pedestal or anything, but, he was somebody that I thought was a really good actor and a big movie star. Just saw him brought yourself down to this level. It wasn't funny, number one. It was just stupid. And you really, as a Hollywood star, you look like a dork. It was just dumb across the board. Anyway, but we'll see what happens. So coming up on a future show, I hope to say, well, do wishes come true? Does magic really happen? Once in a while, maybe it does, just a little bit. There was a hit show called Outlander, and an actor, Sam Fugan or something, his character's name is Jamie. He got to meet his biggest and oldest fan ever. And we'll talk about that on another show. Also, hey, can we end in a little horror here? This world is going crazy. The world's gone nuts. No, you know what? I'll save that for another show. I'll do a movie review, a little horror movie. It's called The Substance. And we'll talk about that another time. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And please tell a friend. And a little goodbye and a shout out to a lot of our fans, JLP, Nicole, Miguel, and Fred, and Dave, and Vicky, and everybody down in Florida. Mwah. Love you. Thanks for watching.